So maximum knee flexion, extension, lateral rotation, in, down. So hip extension, lateral tibial rotation, in, down. Up, out, in, down. Up, out, in, down. And while we are resting, let's continue with our nerve gliding exercise demonstration. And right now, I'm going to be showing you how to release tension in the saphenous nerve. A few days ago, I showed you how to perform the saphenous nerve test. And right now, we are going to be taking that test and turning the test into a nerve gliding exercise. There are a few different components to it. We want to start in a prone position, so you're going to be laying down on your stomach. And the first thing that we want to do to set up is go into maximum knee flexion. From this position right over here, step number one is we would want to maintain that knee flexion, and we want to go into extension of the hip. We want to do 3 to 5 repetitions. After 3 to 5 repetitions, you want to ask yourself, have my symptoms gotten better, worse, or stayed the same? If your symptoms have gotten worse or stayed the same, stop the exercise immediately. There is no need to continue. We don't want to exacerbate your symptoms. However, if your symptoms have gotten better, we would use it as an exercise and perform an additional 20 repetitions. So while maintaining that maximum knee flexion, we're going to do 20 repetitions of hip extension. Let's say you've done the hip extension and you've noticed no reproduction of your symptoms. We're going to add an additional step to add tension onto the nerve. And what we want to do is we are going to add lateral rotation or external rotation of the tibia. So we want those toes. We want to go ahead and we're going to point the toes outward. So we've got that maximum knee flexion, hip extension, and then turn the toes out. 3 to 5 repetitions. Ask yourself, have my symptoms gotten better, worse, or stayed the same? If your symptoms have gotten worse or stayed the same, stop the exercise immediately. There is no need to continue. We don't want to exacerbate your symptoms. However, if your symptoms have gotten better, we could go ahead and perform an additional 20 repetitions. So while maintaining that knee and maximum flexion and that hip in extension, we're going to do 20 repetitions of lateral rotation of the tibia. Another option is we could combine the two motions together. So instead of maintaining a static hip extension, we can make it more dynamic and reset in between each repetition. We would maintain that maximum knee flexion, and then we would go hip extension, lateral tibial rotation, back to center, back to floor. So up, out, in, down. Do that for 3 repetitions, 3 to 5. Ask yourself, have my symptoms gotten better or worse, or have they stayed the same? If your symptoms have gotten worse or stayed the same, stop immediately. There's no need to continue. We don't want to exacerbate your symptoms. However, if your symptoms have gotten better, we would perform it as an exercise and perform an additional 20 repetitions. So maximum knee flexion, extension, lateral rotation, in, down. So hip extension, lateral tibial rotation, in, down. Up, out, in, down. Up, out, in, down. And that is how we would use the saphenous nerve test to release tension on the saphenous nerve. If you have any type of issues related to any type of either medial leg pain, thigh pain, or any type of tingling in the medial foot, that is when we would perform this exercise. And then during the next rest period, I'm going to be showing you guys how to release tension on the tibial nerve. But for right now, our rest period is up. Time for the 10th and final set. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.